everyone, it's Lauren McGoodwin, founder and CEO of Career Contessa, back with another Mentor Monday. Thank you to everyone who submitted such great questions as usual. You guys have a lot on your mind, so we will go ahead and jump to it. Just a couple housekeeping items. If you are joining this live right now, you can ask and submit your career questions via the comment box, and I will be sure to hopefully get to answering most of them. And if any of you want to watch the replays of this Mentor Monday or even past Mentor Mondays, those are all on our YouTube channel, just youtube.com/Career Contessa. All right, so we are gonna start with a question I'm sure many of you have asked yourself before, which is, how do you know if it's time to quit your job? And actually, I was reading some data that the average person will have about 12 different jobs over their lifetime, and that includes internal promotions, moving to other companies, and things like that. So clearly we've established that this thought is probably going to run through your mind at least once, if not more, in your career, and that's totally normal. But let's think about, it's not just about, okay, I had a bad day and now I need to find a new job. What I would encourage you to do is never make quick decisions like that, but instead to really think through where is your future in this company. So the first thing is, do you have room for growth? Or when you look around, there is zero room for growth for you. You are already working on the projects that you considered your dream projects. You've learned a whole bunch of new skills. Maybe the company is totally shifting to something else. Maybe the future of the company is people are not sure what's happening. Maybe your boss won't let you work on this other thing. So the first thing you want to think about is, do you have room for growth at this company? If the answer is no, or if the answer is the growth that would be available to you is not something that you want to do, then that might be a sign that it's time to reconsider some new opportunities and start job searching. Another thing is, maybe when you figure out that, the hours are getting longer, but your wages are staying the same, or maybe you did a bunch of research and you realize, hey, I'm really underpaid for what the industry is. It says, all right, sorry, it looks like the connection's all right, hopefully we are back. The connection is a little shaky right now, I'm not sure why. But what I was getting to is, if your salary is not what the industry, going rate is for the value of what your skill set brings to the table. And a second question that we got is going to be related to salary, so I'll go into that further in the second question. But if you know that the salary isn't what it should be, you've done your research, you've asked for promotions or salary raises and you've been told no, then maybe you need to think about where you want to go next. Because at the end of the day, salary is not everything, we know that, but you don't want to be resentful of the fact that you are working really long hours, you're working really hard, and you're not being paid even remotely what you want to be paid, or what the industry rate is for your skill set. Probably a more popular reason why people quit jobs is you have a really bad boss. Maybe your boss is not a very good leader. There are plenty of organizations where leadership is the biggest problem there. Basically is it's not about people not doing their job, it's about they don't have someone who is really good at giving them feedback. They don't have someone that's really good at setting really clear goals so that they can be successful in their job. So think about your relationship with your boss. Maybe it's that your boss is not great for you, but a different boss in that same company would be great. So maybe you can think about an internal move for your career versus quitting your job and company and going somewhere totally new. Because at the end of the day, good leadership is what helps you be successful at your job and ultimately move your career forward. Yep. So from the top down, exactly. So that's another reason why people leave companies, or it's time to quit your job, is that you have a bad boss and you don't see that getting any better. But maybe I would think about, okay, maybe why is it that that boss doesn't work for you, so that you can at least try to mitigate that the next time you do job search. And the last thing that I wrote down, and I want you all to take this with a grain of salt, is that you're not pursuing your dreams or your passions. And I don't mean that every day is supposed to be, really fun. At the end of the day, this is work, and there are going to be moments that are just not incredibly fun or interesting, but that's what it is. And so I don't mean okay, you had one bad day, you're not pursuing your passions, but let's say your dream is really to impact people's lives in whatever way, shape, or form. You just really want to be a person who's helping other people with their lives, right? And you work in a career where it has nothing to do with other people, you never come in contact, maybe you're a data analyst, right? Or something like that. And so most of your job is related to Excel sheets or this or that, whatever it is. If that's your dream, is to work with people and you're not right now, then maybe it's time to quit that job and pursue something else that does relate a little bit more to your overall passions or the dreams that you have of what would really fulfill you in your career. So those are some ways that you can think about, or some questions you can ask yourself to understand, is it time to actually quit my job, or am I just having a rough moment and it's not actually time to quit my job and look for something else? Maybe I just need to figure out why this boss and I don't connect very well. Okay, the next question, which I said was sort of related to the first question, was, what's the best way to negotiate a salary for a new job? So whenever you are interviewing for a new job, you better know that they are probably gonna ask you, what is your salary requirement, your salary expectations, how much money do you make now? Although you should double check and make sure, because in a lot of states, it's actually illegal for them to ask you what your current salary is. Regardless, the point being is you got a new job and you wanna negotiate for a salary. So the first thing you wanna know is, what is the going rate or the industry rate for the value of your skill set? What on average are people in New York City? And you want to take into account the city, years of experience, the job title. I mean, we can't always compare apples. You're not always going to be comparing apples to apples, but this is a good place to start. Career Contessa has an anonymous salary database called the Salary Project. It's free, and you guys can go ahead and check that out. So that's a good place to start, is go and look and see what is the rate, the value, the industry rate, sorry, the going rate for your industry and what that salary is. So go to careercontessa.com, the Salary Project, and look that up. Then once you have an idea, and it's probably going to be somewhat of a range, now I want you to go and talk to actual people who are in that job, maybe at a different company. It might be difficult to talk to someone at that exact company, especially if you have a job offer, and ask them, hey, can you ballpark tell me what it is that you make? What your goal here is to be collecting enough information that you're going to throw out a number that is within a respectful range. And then the third piece of this puzzle that you're putting together is to write out, what are your accomplishments? What have you done to improve a company, support the company, add to their bottom line, so that you can say, you know, based on my research, both online and talking to other people in similar positions, I'd like to ask for something that's between 80 and 90,000. Here's the reasons why for that. And then also, as it relates to me, here's what I would be able to do and bring, here's what I would like to bring to this company, or here's what I can bring, what value I can bring to this company. So that way you're not just saying, hey, based off of what I found, I should be paid this. You can also bring it back to why you are so valuable. So that's a really good place to start. The Salary Project, which is free on Career Contessa, and then finding other people in similar roles in companies that are within the same type of industry, probably not the exact same company. That might be tough to find. And you know what I find is that people are pretty much willing to probably help you out by giving you that range if that's what you need. Anything more than that, like a specific number or something, it might be something where you need to have a really personal or strong relationship with them in order to share more. But anybody who's negotiated a salary recently, if you have any tips, please tell us in the comments. Okay, the next question is, I want to network, but I'm incredibly introverted. I don't know how to start. So I totally understand. I'm a huge introvert myself. And what I find works really well for me with networking is actually to network one-on-one. So especially if you're an introvert, going to big events where you don't know anybody and you have to walk up to a crowd of strangers and introduce yourself and kind of insert yourself in, that might be a little too nerve-wracking for you. Or maybe you find that when you go to stuff like that, you're no longer able to pitch yourself super well. So what I would do instead is encourage you to find some people that you want to network with and see if you can have what we like to call an informational interview. But oftentimes people will say, well, I'm not looking for a job, I just want to network with them. Informational interviews are for everyone and everything. They're not just for job searching. So that's something that you could do. I found people on LinkedIn that I wanted to network with, and then I would have either coffee with them or I would connect with them over the phone. The other great thing to do if you're introverted and networking is difficult for you is start with within your own company. So ask somebody in a different department if they want to go to lunch or if they want to get coffee, and just have a bunch of questions prepared to ask them, like what is their job? What do they like about it? How did they get into this industry or this interest? And let them do most of the talking. And I find that the more you do that, and I would kind of set goals for yourself. So once a month you're going, or this month you're going to network with one person, next month you're going to network with 2 people, and so on. I find that the more you do that, the more comfortable you get starting those conversations, and pretty soon networking won't become so difficult, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert. Okay, next question that we got, and thanks again you guys for submitting such great questions. This was, I work at a toxic workplace and I've been looking for a new job. No luck yet, but I got offered a promotion to be a manager. How long do I need to stay with the company after getting a new position? So there's no real like exact timeline out there, right? Like we don't say, okay, well, you need to stay with that company 1 month for every year that you've been there, whatever it is. Like we don't have an exact formula for that. What I would say is that if you don't like this company, but you're going to accept this promotion and you're going to use that to leverage it into a new opportunity, you need to stay long enough that you can say some sort of accomplishment or achievement you've had in that job, right? So it's not helpful to say, oh, I was manager here. They're going to ask, and how is that different than your role before? What was managing like? Tell us about a difficult time when, an employee wanted to do something, you had to tell them no. So I know you're probably looking for me to say you should stay 12 months. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say stay as long as you need to stay in order to make an impact and to walk away with some sort of achievement or, something that you can quantify or explain in an interview about your value to that company and what you did in that role. Okay, last question. So again, if you're joining us live, and I see that a bunch of you are, feel free to add your questions in the comment section because this is our last question and then we'll wrap up. This person said, I want to switch careers. I'm 25 years old and have no idea how. What are some tips? Well, my first tip is to read Career Contessa articles. We've written a ton of articles on career transitions, especially when you're not sure which career you want to pursue. We also have a ton of interviews on Career Contessa. So when you don't know what you want to do next, it's really hard to get there, right? We can all admit that. And I've been there before. I was working as an admin assistant. I hated my job. I really wanted to switch careers, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so what I found that was really helpful is learning about other career opportunities, and then whichever one you get the most excited about, pursue that a little further. Go have informational interviews with people in that career. Go to networking events or events related to that. Learn what companies hire that type of person. So for example, for this person who's 25 and doesn't know what they want to do. Let's say you read the interviews on Career Contessa and you decide you really want to work in editorial. Like it just sounds so interesting to work in digital media on the content or editorial side of things. Great. The next thing you want to do is what companies offer types of jobs like that. If you're in Los Angeles, okay, what are the digital media companies that might hire a content person? Those are companies you want to put on the list. The next thing you would do is try to reach out to people who work at those companies and talk to them. What is your job like? How did you get there? What skills are required? What do you love about your company? What do you hate about your company? And really what you're trying to do is learn as much as you can about the next career and job that you're going to pursue, so that when you do apply for jobs, you're much more focused about it and you can probably be more successful at actually landing that job. So that's what I do. What I would do if I were you and you were thinking about switching your career. You're 25 years old, so it's not going to be surprising that you're early on in your career and you're thinking about what you want to do next, or you haven't found your dream job. No one is going to fault you for that. That's totally normal. But also your dream job isn't going to come knock on your door. You're going to have to actually put in some energy and start engaging with the world around you by reading those interviews, making that list of companies, going and having those informational interviews. And if you have had your dream job knock on your door, please email me. I'd love to meet you. So that's totally normal. Good luck with your search. Thank you guys for joining our Mentor Monday. We will have another one next month. The replay of this will be available on Career Contessa's Instagram for the next 24 hours. And then all of the replays, including this Mentor Mondays replay, will be on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to go over to our YouTube channel. We've got other great videos there. You can follow us and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on our next Mentor Monday. Thanks a lot, guys.